Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, presented by Superbook Sports. Taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We hope you all enjoyed your long weekend. Good morning, DMac. How are you?
Rachel, how was your weekend?
It was good. I had a bunch of graduation parties we had to go to, just kind of hung out, saw friends. And then my boyfriend wanted a new wardrobe. So he gave me and one of my best friends his credit card for the day. And we went shopping and we just swipe. So it was fun.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
So
is that fun?
Oh, it was a blast. His
okay.
reaction, we were trying to get him to step out of his comfort zone a little bit, and he wasn't exactly thrilled with some of the choices we made, but he looked good in them, I will say. He gave us a C+ at the end of the day.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, isn't this so fun?
What?
What I did learn, though, is how easy it is to spend a lot of money in a little bit of time. That's what my biggest lesson was.
Wait, time out. Your boyfriend, you do a horrible chore out of the goodness of your heart, and he gives you a C+?
I know.
A C+? Holy cow.
It was so much fun, though, honestly. Like, we had a blast.
My goodness.
It was fun picking out new things. Shop till you drop. Exactly.
I understand. A C+? I mean,
C+.
you get an A+ no matter. I don't care if all the clothes are purple and polka dots. I mean, you do something a C+.
So you don't like shopping, DMac?
No, I hate shopping.
Oh.
But I have a wonderful wife. If she bought me anything, I'd just be over my. Thank you. No matter what it is.
Well, I like shopping, so it was a lot of fun. And to not have to use my own credit card was even better. Again, I was just swiping left and right on things, and it was fun.
Rachel,
I would do it again.
I'm so confused with you and your boyfriend. I don't know what's going on here. It's so.
What do you mean?
Well, you guys live together, don't you?
We do live together, yes.
I mean, you're practically married, aren't you?
Yes.
But
DMac, I go to Hawaii in 3 weeks, my friend.
With him?
With him.
Right. I mean, this guy doesn't know how lucky he's got it.
I think it's more of, I'm a very bougie personality, so,
Okay.
things that come with that.
Well, good. Hawaii sounds awesome, but your vacation is planned after the parade, correct?
Absolutely. Hopefully there's no game 7, which there shouldn't be, because the Miami Heat said, Boston, you're going to go back home or you're going to stay home, my friends. And the Heat, they win. So now the Nuggets need to beat the Heat, just like in the summertime, DMac. How excited were you last night for the game?
Well, it was that was a bad game. Can we just
terrible
start
basketball?
There? I mean, that was just a bad game of basketball. And I'm watching both of these teams like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't know what people expect NBA basketball to look like, but it ain't that. And the Celtics won going away, but what did they score? 103? Something like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It's just that they could not hit a three-pointer to save their lives. Everything else was kind of equal. Rebounds. I mean, the Celtics were a turnover machine, and they probably had more turnovers than the Heat. But I mean, Rachel, that was terrible. That was it wasn't a great defensive game. It was just a bad game of basketball, period.
And then Tatum, obviously, he says he gets hurt on the first play. So that's not going to help the Celtics by any means. I feel like everybody had to play 100% and had to play almost a perfect game for the Celtics to stand a chance. And it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah, but
basketball God said, sorry, Boston.
For both teams, there was no flow whatsoever. There was no rhythm. There was no flow. There was no two-man game. Rachel, it was like for both teams. And let me tell you, Jimmy Butler is the worst superstar that the Nuggets have to face in the playoffs. If you think about every other, because every team's got one, right? Every team's got an all-star, superstar. Jimmy Butler, by a mile, is the worst superstar. They are so undersized. They're a tiny little basketball team. I mean, yeah, they got as far as they did, but holy cow, Rach. I mean, I think the Nuggets are just going to kill these guys.
Oh, okay. So with that statement right there, I have an issue with everybody who's saying Nuggets in 4, because while I want to believe that, we're still talking about the NBA Finals. We got to give a little bit of credit where credit is due for the Heat. They made it this far. They were a number 8 seed. They weren't supposed to make it this far. So something is clearly working for them. And the question is, what is it when you look at this team?
I don't know. How have they done this? I don't know. I mean, they must have gotten so lucky that these other better teams, and every team they beat is better than them. I don't know, man. Okay, you catch other teams sleeping, and then you make some three. They were good from three. I think they might have been close to 50% from three, maybe. But, I mean, they miss a lot of shots, too. Listen, you score 103 points against the Nuggets. Rachel, you're going to lose by 20. Maybe more. I mean, it's just not enough against a really, really good team. I'll give credit, I guess, to Eric Spoelstra, too, their coach. I mean, he must really know what he's doing. Pat Riley running that organization. But golly, man, I mean, Jokic is above 63% against Bam Adebayo. The Heat haven't won in Denver since 2016.
I know.
I mean, the Nuggets have dominated them, and I get it. I see why. I mean, I won't say a sweep. I'll give them their flowers on that one. But 5, and I think I'm being nice to say 5. I mean, and I guess anything can happen, Rachel. The whole any given Sunday sort of deal. But I can't imagine a better scenario for the Nuggets to win their first NBA championship. I mean, you got to play somebody good. You got to play somebody who made it to the final, right? So you have to play somebody who somehow won 3 series.
All I want to say is I need everybody to stay healthy. And I'm talking about even on the Heat. Of course, on the Nuggets, we want everybody to stay healthy, but on the Heat, because I hate the discussion when it comes around for a team to win a championship. And they're like, oh, well, if so-and-so would have been healthy, they would have won. No, I want there to be no excuses for any team at all. I need everybody to stay healthy, to play really good games, and the Nuggets still to just absolutely dominate, because I don't want there to be any excuse for the national media at all to come out and say, oh, well, if this would have happened, the Nuggets wouldn't have won.
Yeah, it's let me tell you, I've seen some ridiculous things. And the most ridiculous thing is, too much of a rest for the Nuggets. Hey, Rach, the Nuggets have been practicing hard. They've been going after it. They've been scrimmaging against each other. Yeah, okay, fine. It's not ideal because it's not real NBA competition. But the entire Nuggets team is healthy. Like, nobody's hurt, and there's no drama going on. And it takes about, Rachel, I'd say, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes of play to be back in the rhythm of a real NBA game. That's it. The Nuggets are undefeated in the playoffs at home, and they get to open against the Heat, who I don't know the elevation level, the sea level elevation level of Miami and Boston. I mean, I assume it's 0. If not below 0, and they got to come here after a 7-game series. Are you freaking kidding me? So the whole layoff thing will be, first of all, that'll be over in 20 minutes. It might have an impact, Rachel, in the first 20 minutes. But look what the Nuggets did till Milwaukee after a time off, and then they faced a team, Milwaukee, that was seeded the same as the Heat in the West. Yeah. They were the 8s, and look what happened. No, I am bizarrely encouraged by the prospects. Hey, Boston was a better team. Charles Barkley talked about it. They're just so wildly inconsistent. And better team. All right, they have better talent. They're a bigger problem. They're a bigger issue. And they would have had a crazy amount of momentum, winning 4 straight, being the first team to break that streak, yada, yada, yada. I mean, that might have been an issue, and you would have had to go to Boston. Rachel, how could this possibly set up better for the Nuggets? I want to know, does anybody out there, I mean, can anybody think of a scenario that sets up better for the Nuggets? And spare me with Tyler Hero coming back in game 3. I mean, that guy's not going to be in NBA shape. I'm not afraid of Tyler Hero. Give me a break. I mean, this is
I actually like this comment. It says, feel like both teams have a chip on their shoulder and don't feel respected. And I actually totally agree with that. This morning, all over ESPN, it wasn't about the Heat being an 8 seed making it to the NBA Finals. It's about how the Celtics essentially choked and how Tatum has an injury and yada, yada, how they broke down.
Well, it did choke. Tatum does have an injury. Okay, sure.
But it's the same thing. Then why are we complaining here in Denver about the Nuggets not getting talked about when LeBron was hurt? And
because we have the 2-time MVP and we're first in the West. I mean, the Heat limped into the playoffs. And how old is Jimmy Butler? I mean, what is going on here? I mean,
that's actually a great question too.
I mean, he's got the oldest starter for the Nuggets is KCP, who's 30. Jeff Green is older and he comes off the bench. Okay, fine. We got one guy. I mean, but at least he's 7 feet tall, Rachel. I mean, they are small. Look at the size. And they are gunners, man. They are gunners with the 3. But when you miss a 3, you get a long rebound. You get a fast break the other way. Then the Nuggets are a great fast break. Who is going to guard Michael Porter Jr.? I mean, seriously. Who the hell is going to guard Michael Porter Jr.?
I would be so curious to see how Miami is dissecting this Nuggets team. And real quick, Jimmy Butler is 33 years old.
Listen, I'll tell you this, man. If Michael Porter Jr. was allowed to take 25 shots per game, he would be the MVP of this series coming up. Seriously, it's like that. I mean, how do you want to lose? I mean, the Nuggets can beat the Heat in such a wide variety of ways. Yeah. So, again, this means that KCP and even Aaron Gordon, Rachel, you got to understand, they're going to be wide open for threes. I mean, freaking wide open. The only chance Miami has is to play some sort of funky zone defense that as long as the Nuggets can shoot from the outside and they get the first 2 games at home, I'm beside myself with excitement, I suppose, because at the end of the day, while I love my parents, Peter and Eileen, at the end of the day, I really do. I'll go see Peter and Eileen another time. Trust me, I'll go see him another time. And I get to see, maybe the Nuggets and who cares? I want to win a championship at this point.
Oh my gosh, me too. And there's
all that other stuff is garbage.
There's a special history in Miami too. Our very own, well, not our very own, a very good friend of mine, Romy Bean, who is over there at Channel 4, correct? I get all of these people mixed up with their numbers. But she put together a list about how the Avalanche won their first Stanley Cup in Miami. The Broncos won their second Super Bowl in Miami. Okay. And then the Buffs won a national championship in Miami.
Orange Bowl, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Well, and now we're going to win an NBA championship against Miami, Florida, the Heat.
In Miami or against Miami?
Well, I think we're going to win it against and in. I said 5 games. So I'll root for a championship at home. Not that it wasn't amazing watching the Avs win the Stanley Cup last year. It was, and I was incredibly lucky to be there. But it's like, it'd have been so great if they could have won it at home.
That's what I put on Twitter when I saw Romy's tweet. I was like, my only problem with this is it says in Miami for all of those things. I so badly want this team to win here at Ball Arena. These Nuggets fans want it so bad. I'll be like, of course you want them to win a championship regardless. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that, but it's like, if it's 100% guaranteed, perfect. I want it to happen at Ball Arena, even if that means 1 loss for the Nuggets. And everyone's like, no, we want to sweep.
I think, listen, the Nuggets could go cold. They lost a game to Minnesota in Minnesota. Okay, that happens. You could play like Boston, and it's just sometimes it's contagious, missing shots. The difference is with the Nuggets, unlike the Celtics, when the Celtics go off the rails, they have been able to collect themselves, but like the next game, the Nuggets can reset on the fly. which makes them such a unique team. They
Yeah.
can. They've talked about it. They've done it. Almost every player on the team's done it at one point or the other. And the Nuggets have a variety of players, Rachel, who can sort of step up when the moment's needed. It's not just a one-trick pony. And I'm watching that game yesterday just with my jaw dropped. And let's be honest. Let's keep it real. The Celtics shouldn't have been there in the first place. Great play by legend high school grad, UCCS attendee, CU Buffalo attendee, Derek White. That was his path. Was a year off between UCCS and CU back in the old days when you couldn't just transfer. Now you can. But awesome job by him. But come on, Rach. How lucky do you get that the ball bounces out right to Derek White? He gets it off with 0.1 seconds left. Come on.
That was one of the craziest plays I have ever seen in my entire life. I was watching it at my dinner table with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend literally goes, Rachel, you've said, I can't believe I just watched that at least 100 times. And it's true. I still can't believe it. That play was insane.
I can't believe he didn't like the pants you bought him. So, there's a lot of shock going.
I saw a question too of somebody who said, let's make a honeymoon, Rachel. You've got his card. Just swipe it and go to Hawaii and do whatever I want in Hawaii, right?
Go for it. Go for it. Have a blast.
Oh my gosh. No, that's so funny though. But I seriously couldn't get over that entire play and just the way it happened. And I feel so bad for Heat fans down there because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Then you're like, well, wait a second. What just happened? Like, if you paid so much money to be at that game.
Who are Heat fans? Who are these people? Like, who are they? Like,
I
don't know.
One Heat fan.
Yeah, it's not like it's Heat Nation. It's I don't even know how they sell their games. The Southern Florida sport fan, maybe the worst sports fan in the country. It's just the most it's so casual. I don't know if they always put on the t-shirts. The Heat fans like putting on those t-shirts more than any fan base in America. So they do what they're told, which is great for them. But aside from that, I don't know who Heat fans are. Who are Heat fans?
Good question. If you are a Heat fan in the comments, let us know. But of course, we have to continue talking about Jimmy Butler because he's going to be one of the biggest threats for the Heat, if not biggest head. 28.5 points in the postseason, 7 rebounds, 5.7 assists. He's fantastic. What can you say? But for them to be able to beat the Nuggets, I think he has to average at least 30, if not 35.
Whatever. Average 30. Who gives a crap? Listen, we've already played Anthony Edwards, beat him. He's better than Jimmy Butler. We've beaten Devin. Oh, I take Anthony Edwards over Jimmy Butler anytime.
Okay, but are you saying that because of age?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not fair.
Well, whatever. He's on the docket, and then you got Devin. Devin Booker's way better than Jimmy Butler. Give me a break. Okay. And then you got LeBron. Are you kidding me? This is he is. I know everybody's blowing him up because of how great of a playoffs he's had, and he's had some great games, no doubt about it. But he's had games that he's disappeared too, Rachel. He has. He's had games where he was barely around for the 3 games previous until yesterday. You just can't do that. I would take Jamal Murray over Jimmy Butler. I'm not trying to say Jimmy Butler's not a good player, but of all the players in the playoffs, I don't know. He might be the 6th or 7th best guy. Maybe. And he's not by far, because they've had some other important contributions. So, but we're talking about, like, that's their superstar. Like, that's who you have to overcome. A small guard, 6'7", but you know what I'm saying. Like LeBron's like 6'8", but he plays like a center. Jimmy Butler doesn't do that. Yeah. He's just an outside shooter. Maybe he drives every now and then, but they don't want to drive. They don't want to take the ball to the basket. They just want to hang out and bomb away from free. That's their style.
What was your takeaway from him saying, I'll hold the next one?
Yeah, cool. That's good. Rah, rah. Woo. Yeah. Whoopee. Whatever. What do I take from it? I take from it they know what's good. Hey, by the way, what celebration did they have? I mean, they knew they got away with it. They know what their future is. Talk about a muted, like, who cares celebration. And by the way,
you're making me really nervous.
I'm making you nervous? Why?
You are. The fact that we're all overlooking. I know they're an 8 seed but they made it this far.
Somebody's got to make it this far. Let me know in the
comments if you're at the same point that I am.
Listen, man. All right, let me give you some basketball reasons, okay? I'll stay away from just we're better than them, which they are by a mile. Rachel, they're just a small team, okay? They're just a small team. And Bam, man, I'm going to mess up the name. Amabayo, Bam, is going to be dominated by Jokic. I mean, absolutely dominated. Kevin Love doesn't even get off the bench anymore, and he's like another big dude. They just don't have the size. And you say, well, okay, maybe they double Jokic. All right, fine. Pick your poison. That's going to leave Jamal Murray wide open. Never mind Michael Porter Jr. No, for a lot of just basketball reasons, like the Nuggets are a terrible matchup for the Heat. The Celtics are actually a smaller team too, all things considered. Like Jason Tatum's really their biggest guy, and he has to kind of do everything. He's their virtual Jokic, but even he's much smaller than Jokic. Just size alone, Rachel, and factor in what they're going to have to do coming to the mile-high elevation like that after being exhausted by that Celtics series. Huge advantage for the Nuggets. Huge.
And I'm totally with you. I still think that the Nuggets are going to walk away with the title, which is so exciting, and a parade and the whole thing. But I just feel like people are like completely writing off the Heat when they made it this far. There's clearly something that is working for them that has been able to allow them to make it this far. I mean, no one would have guessed that. That would be like the Timberwolves being in the finals right now. That's unimaginable.
Right. So do you think they're a team of destiny?
The Heat?
Yeah.
No, I still think that everything is laid out perfectly for the Nuggets to win the championship. Like, I totally see that. I just think it's going to be a little bit tighter maybe than what we're expecting. And I do think that the Nuggets will lose at least one.
Yeah, I think they're going to, I'll just say, I'll give a team that made it to the finals a respect. I gave the Lakers a little bit of respect. I said Nuggets in 5 on that one. It was a sweep. Sure. I'll try not to be disrespectful. Maybe they win 1, okay. Aside from that, it's, they know what they've got coming their way, and it's not pleasant. From what I understand, the reports that I read, they flew right here to Denver last night after the game.
I saw that.
So they don't even go home. So just throw that, they've had an exhausting schedule. I know it's first class flights and there's a day off in between, but still, that is a lot of pressure just to sort of, and I really do think it wasn't like the Heat won that game yesterday, Rachel. I think the Celtics lost it. They had way too many turnovers and they couldn't hit a shot from the outside. They were way down in their 3-pointers. So, Rachel, the Celtics were playing terrible and they were still in that game. I thought they were going to win. I just figured I cannot believe the game is even this close. So they would figure out a way, but they were bad. Really bad. That was an epic collapse by the Celtics.
It was really bad basketball yesterday. So let's go back to game 6 then.
Okay.
How would you grade the Celtics in game 6?
Not great. They got lucky, but they should have lost that one too. And
Jimmy Butler really didn't show up until the final, 2 minutes in the fourth quarter for the Heat?
Right. Okay. Listen, so yesterday I went over to the Nuggets and talking with Michael Malone with the rest of the Muggles there. And I did ask him about, what did you think of the last 3 seconds of that Heat Celtics game? And he went through it in detail. Like, he went through it like a coach would go through things. Like, this happened and that happened, then they got this and that. But at the end of the day, what Malone said, which is, of course, this is what coaches always believe, but what he said, and it was probably a great example for the Nuggets, is that you got to play the full 48 minutes. I know that is a cliche, but they could have done more. The Heat could have done more to box guys out. They could have done more on their defense. They could have. I still think the Celtics got extraordinarily lucky, but more probably could have been done. And I think that's like one of the things about the Nuggets, Rachel. They have learned a lot of lessons this postseason while still winning games. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that was the infamous game one, like, the Lakers got it figured out. It's like, well, you lost. I mean, I guess the game was close and, where Rui and, Jokic and they got him figured. It was preposterous. And Malone said, well, I'd rather, learn our lesson and win the game rather than, get this moral victory. So.
What else did you learn down at Nuggets?
Well, a couple things over the past couple days.
Yeah.
Going back to Saturday, Jokic was really interesting because he said he thought he would feel a bigger emotion after winning the Western Conference Final. Mm-hmm. And he talked about how, if you don't know the story, his wife, then girlfriend, went to school in Oklahoma. So when he got drafted by the Nuggets, it was really great. And he has two older brothers. One of his older brothers was already living here in the United States, and his other older brother came after he was drafted. So Jokic actually did say it was more about being with them than being in the NBA. He was more excited about that. Mm-hmm. I think Jokic, Rachel, is a man of his word and a man of his commitments. I think he will play as hard as he can and do as well as he can for as long as he's under contract. But Rachel, at 28 years old, I would be stunned if he signs another contract to keep playing in the NBA after this one is done. Maybe some sort of like 1 year deal, like over and over and over again. I just get the sense that this guy has been on a kind of a hamster wheel with basketball for his life. And I think he's been doing what other people have been asking him to do. And I think other people want him to be more excited than he is himself. I think it's a very interesting sort of juxtaposition. So it's not like he's going to try less or not work hard. Mm-hmm. It's just that this is a guy who's been so open that he thinks there's more important things in life, family, than basketball. I mean, Rachel, he said it a million times, and he just really wasn't that overjoyed. And to think that he's going to be on some sort of Jordan-esque, adventure, trying to win as many as you can, pushing your family aside. And Rachel, that is what Michael Jordan did. All right. I don't want to get into, slander about Michael Jordan, but he did push his family aside. It's been very well documented. And he chased something until he was 40 years old with the Wizards. He chased baseball. Michael Jordan was always chasing the next championship to prop himself up. Jokic is not doing that, Rach. He's not wired like that. So we should appreciate what we have while he's here, because he'll be gone soon enough.
I think it's just the one goal of, I just want to win a championship, chuck that off.
I think he's just doing what other people are pointing him in that direction. So like when he's for his club team, it's like, well, do this. Okay. Well, you get drafted, do this. Well, okay. He was really happy to be in the United States, with his girlfriend, now wife, and his brothers. So, okay. And, train this to be in better shape. Well, okay. I think he's just doing one thing after another. And I think he's had some really good coaches. And I think he's extraordinarily talented. But, he was asked what his favorite NBA Finals series was of all time. Do you know what he said?
I don't know.
He didn't have one.
Yeah.
He didn't sit there in Sombor, like, oh my God, John Stockton and Michael Jordan and, the bad boys. And, he didn't grow up like that. He didn't. Oh my God, Chauncey and the Pistons are oh my Lord. It wasn't like that. Kobe. He has respect for the players that he's playing with now. He has a certain appreciation for the history of basketball, a polite respectfulness for the history of basketball. But Rachel, he didn't, he wasn't on he wasn't watching. He was not watching the NBA Finals.
That's crazy to just
think
about. As somebody who is so talented as him, he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Because it was never He never thought he was going to be in the NBA. He never thought. He just, he grew up.
He was going to get drafted during a Taco Bell commercial and probably be the MVP.
Right, Rachel. All of that sort of stuff. He's the most accidental superstar you'd ever run into. And because he's like that, it probably is what makes him a ridiculously good teammate. Mm-hmm. And a pretty extraordinary person too, all things considered. It is not all about winning for Jokic, but the goal is to win. So I hope that makes sense. Like, the goal is to win, so he will do everything he can to win. Everything. He won't hold back 1 second. It will be everything. But that's just not everything to him in his life. And not that we didn't know that, but as he said that he thought he would have a bigger emotion, and that a half hour after the game, it was just like, Go read my story at denversports.com. It was fascinating. And let me tell you, too, it's fascinating, too. The video I posted with him saying this, it was an answer to Mike Singer question from the Denver Post. Rachel, it has over 2 million views. Like, it's a fascinating viral video that people are, well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, for sure. But but it's interesting how this is such a strange thing for the American sports fan to comprehend. So he's not going to give less effort. Don't worry about that, Nuggets fans. He's going to give it all. He always has. He's programmed to do that. It's just that there's other things for him after basketball. That's all.
We are so lucky. And I will have a video tomorrow here on Coffee Break of him seeing his family up close and personal. My old swing coach, actually, I'll just say it, was right behind his family after they won and was able to get a great video. It is the sweetest thing. I'll have it tomorrow here on Coffee Break for sure. Anything else you learned, though? Who else have you heard from over the past couple of days?
We heard from Christian Brown, who's on this ridiculous, streak right now of winning high school championships. He won a national championship for Kansas last year. And here he is. There's only been 5 players in the history of the NBA who have gone back-to-back with a college championship, or I think he may be the 5th that has a shot at it. But it hasn't happened very often. And so he has a chance to sort of cement his name in history. That's fascinating, right?
But will he see the court to do that?
Oh, that's a good question. Not right away. Not right away. I mean, not right away. So it's a good question. Probably not that much. Yeah, I don't, unless there's some sort of injury or something. I mean, I don't know why Michael Malone would change a 7-man rotation now. Don't forget, the Nuggets are the danger. The Nuggets are the one who knocks, not the other way around. So I doubt it. Malone's
Did you get any sense of, and this could be the rust coming off of having a week off or a little over a week, and the moment being so big? Jokic, we're not worried about him because I don't think the moment will get big at all. But for a lot of these other players, this is something they've looked literally their entire lives for. You think the moment will get big from anyone? Did anyone show any type of emotion that you were like, you could possibly see just a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes in the beginning of game one?
Well, I think the guy that leaves his emotions on his sleeve more than anybody is Jamal Murray. They all have different ways of handling it. I mean, I think Jamal was the most honest when the playoffs started, that he admitted that it was, hey, there's some nerves going on here. Now, I would say likely in the first game, he'll have some of those nerves. It was really interesting hearing from Michael Porter Jr. yesterday, because he talked about one way he calms himself down and centers himself is he journals. So he actually gets, writes things down to help him sort of, navigate whatever he's going through. KCP has been through this. I mean, it was in the bubble. Okay, so that's a little different. But he's actually already won a championship. And Bruce Brown, who's Bruce Brown afraid of? I mean, what situation have we seen that's too big for Bruce Brown? Today we're going to hear from Jeff Green and Aaron Gordon. But, Gordon will be tasked with Jimmy Butler. That'll be his main assignment.
He has had the toughest road through these playoffs. Holy smokes.
Yeah, so he'll be on. So he knows that. And I think to a degree it helps playing defense rather than just counting on offense. I think you can just sort of be a little bit more physical. You can get in the mix with things. And Jokic, I mean, Jokic, I know this sounds ridiculous. He doesn't pay any attention. So I'm telling you, Rachel, there is no difference to Nikola Jokic. It's a big crowd. It's loud, but it's not like a bigger crowd. It's not more loud. All the games are on national TV already. Well, okay, that's already been the case. You don't get a brighter spotlight than Los Angeles. It's just, I mean, if anything, you got a crowd in Miami that you could probably take out of the game relatively easily. Half of them probably don't even know why they're there, but they did get a free T-shirt, so they're probably, happy with that. It's just not. I just don't see it. I know what your question was. Will it be too big for them? They're not a young team. They're not. They're such an experienced team. Malone did talk about that yesterday. It's an example of how you do things the right way. You establish a system, and you keep significant things like the coach, which I agree with, in place, and then, a superstar, and you build around that. The Nuggets have 8 new players on the team this year, 8, but their core is the same. Malone also talked about how emotional it was to get Aaron Gordon because they had to give up Gary Harris, who they all loved. Everybody loved Gary Harris. And so that was an emotional move, but a great move. And that was, Tim Conley. And then Calvin Booth brought on KCP and Bruce Brown. So, I mean, they've kind of hit the trifecta, a solid ownership group. So you don't have to worry about that. Solid coaching. So you don't have to worry about that. Superstar athlete, and then great free agent spending. And never mind, you picked up a draft pick in Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson may be further down the road with Colin Gillespie that could also be significant contributors.
Perfect storm.
I'm telling you this. If the way the Nuggets have done things doesn't result in a championship, I don't know what would. You can't just win a championship because you got lucky. I mean, the pumpkin, the Heat are a pumpkin, and it's or whatever it is, Cinderella, and it's about to turn midnight, okay? The Heat are Rudy, the try-hard team. The Nuggets are the Avengers. All of them.
Wait, who's Captain America?
Captain America is Aaron Gordon. Iron Man is Jamal Murray. The Incredible Hulk is Jokic.
I love that for him.
Should I keep going? I don't,
I would love for you, please, so I can make a graphic. Name all of them, starting with Captain America again.
Well, Captain America, I'll give to Gordon. Oh my God, this is going to be a test because I'm not a big Avengers fan. I just sort of know. I'll give Iron Man to now who would well, it should be the Blue Arrow. Wait, who's the Arrow guy? Isn't there an Arrow Avenger guy?
Yes, there is. I can't think of his name,
but he kind of sucks. Isn't he the worst Avenger? Like, what are his powers?
Him.
Well, all right.
Cool.
I mean, there's the Arrow guy, but I think he's a sucky Avenger. So, I mean, you'd have to tell me who the best Avengers are.
Who's Thor?
Thor with the hammer?
Yeah.
Maybe that's Aaron Gordon.
Oh, I like that one, actually.
Captain America. I don't know. Maybe Bruce Brown's Captain America with the cowboy hats. I don't know.
Love that one, too. And who did you say is Iron Man?
Iron Man. Give me Jamal as Black Panther. Give me Jamal as Black Panther and Iron Man. Give me Jeff Green as Iron Man. I guess he's just been there forever. He's solid. Jamal's like
Hawkeye. Hawkeye is his name, also.
Yeah. He can't be Hawkeye. Hawkeye sucks. Give me Black Panther because he rules. He rules. He dominates entire countries and stuff, right? That's better for Jamal. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Am I in the same? Which one is R2D2? Which one is this? What?
Definitely not Avengers. That is.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I can't think of the name of the movie right now.
But let me tell you, they're all. Yeah, Thor would be Aaron Gordon, right? I love that. The hammer, the defense. Oh
yeah, who's KCP?
Oh my God. Can they all be Iron Man? I don't know. I don't know who works out the best.
KCP should be.
KCP is. Golly, man. I'm testing my. KCP is kind of like the savvy vet. like he's been there
Or should
forever.
KCP be Iron Man because he's kind of
He's like a
been
classic.
there, done that, you know?
Yes. Yeah. He's that's better. That's better.
I love
He's
that we
Iron
could put this together somehow.
Yeah, KCP is Iron Man. Jamal's the Black Panther. Jokic is the Incredible Hulk. Thor is
AG.
Aaron Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. Who would he be? Tall, could do everything. I don't know. Maybe he's Captain America. Maybe Michael. Well, no, I already gave that to Bruce Brown. I don't know. I'm spinning out of control here. I'm sure the listeners could help us a lot. Viewers could help us a lot better with this.
Put a list in the comments of how you would make this Nuggets team the Avengers, and we'll pick the best one for sure. All right, I do want to move on to talk about Pro Football Focus, put together a list of their quarterbacks for this upcoming season, and we're going to put you to the test. All right, DMac?
All right, let's go.
Okay. I put out some names already, and you're going to try and fill in the blanks. So here's the list. I'm assuming you can go 1, 2, 3. Hit it.
1, 2, 3 would be Mahomes, Allen, Burrow.
Boom. Fantastic. Any idea who they put as number 5?
4 is Herbert. Is that right?
Correct.
They probably put like Aaron Rodgers or something like that, number 5.
Dang. Good job. I honestly did not expect Aaron Rodgers to come in at number 5. Maybe that's just because I'm not writing the hype. What about number 7?
All right, who's number 6? My eyes are terrible. Who's 6?
Lamar Jackson.
Number 7. Trevor Lawrence. Did I get it?
Nope.
Not Trevor Lawrence, who?
Jalen Hurts.
He's really good.
Trevor Lawrence comes in at number 8.
Yeah, see how bad I am? I couldn't even read that because I'm like blind as a bat.
Okay, well, who do you think about 9?
Not Russell Wilson. Number 9 would be probably 9th best quarterback in the NFL. It wouldn't be Geno Smith. No, it can't be Geno Smith. Geno Smith?
Nope.
Who we got?
Kirk Cousins.
Oh, shoot. I wouldn't have got that at all.
No, right? I was like, I'm surprised he's up there that high. Okay. 11, 12.
Yeah, who's the 10 though, Rich? Just tell me who's the 10 real quick.
Dak Prescott. So you got Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Rodgers, Jackson, Hurts, Lawrence, Cousins, Prescott.
All right, then I'll go like Derek Carr at 11.
Who's 12?
11 or 12. I'll go Derek Carr, 11 or 12, and then Tua Tagovailoa. I'd probably throw him in there. So Tua, and how am I doing?
Tua was number 11. Matthew Stafford comes in at number 12.
Forgot about him. Sorry about that.
We're testing DMac's quarterback knowledge. This is harder than you think, especially when you have to go through and think about all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Deshaun Watson comes in at number 13. What do you think about 14 or 15?
14 and 15. Gosh, we got to go through who's left, really, right? I'm thinking of the divisions in my head right now. Oh, golly. Well, I'll throw Geno into one of those. So okay. I'll say Geno's one of them. And Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. Derek Carr and Geno Smith come in at 14 and 15. 16 is Jared Goff. 17 is Daniel Jones. Russell Wilson's still not on the list.
Okay, 18.
18.
Oh man, I'm this high. I got to use my memory here. It says, well, Jimmy Garoppolo. I guess I'll just keep going. Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not on the list yet.
Okay.
Justin
Fields, your boy.
Oh my God.
Comes in at number 18.
Why did I have him so low?
DMac, you forgot about him.
Why did I have him so low? Oh,
number 20.
Number 20 is, well, I mean, number 20 should be Russell Wilson. I mean, let me explain why it should be. If we're talking 20 and half is AFC and half is NFC, and the Broncos are finishing like 8 and 9, 9 and 8, something like that, it would leave them just out of the playoffs. So theoretically, if you're going to land just outside the playoffs, you'd land at number 20. I mean, theoretically. So I'll say our guy, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson comes in at number
Oh,
20.
there you
Ooh,
go. There you go.
what grade is that? Not very good. Okay, number 22. Mac Jones comes in at 21. Now we're getting into some tough ones. A bunch of names that you may not see in the headlines every day.
I just should say Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, we got like Jimmy Garoppolo, Kenny Pickett, these types of guys. So I'll go Jimmy G, I guess.
Kenny Pickett comes in at number
Kenny
22. Our
Pickett.
banner
Oh, wow,
slightly
okay.
covering it. Brock Purdy, number 23. How about 24 and 25?
Maybe Jimmy
Almost
Garoppolo
done.
doesn't count, I guess, you know? Maybe he doesn't, you know, maybe he's not on there at all. I mean, we're getting.
I'll give you a hint. He is on the list.
So he is on the list?
Yep.
Oh, God. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo. Next, and then now we're at, I mean, where are we now? We are at the bottom of the barrel here.
I'll give you a hint. It's going to be a rookie this season who comes in at number 25.
Oh, we're doing that. Oh, CJ Stroud. Or Bryce Young, I guess. I'll say CJ Stroud.
24 is Jimmy
Bryce Young.
Garoppolo. I was surprised by how low they had dropped him. And then Bryce Young comes in at 25. Then we obviously got Jordan Love, Sam Howell. And number 28, last one. Who is it?
CJ Stroud.
No, he is actually already on the list at number 30. This is a quarterback that has played in the NFL. This one was shocking to me.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Baker.
Oh,
my God. My guy.
Comes in at number 28. There's the full list for you. An interesting list for sure. A lot of names that I thought would be a little bit higher up. Of course, I feel like the first 10 are, you can mix and match wherever you want. But I was kind of surprised by some of those other names that made it, especially Baker, dropping it all the way past a rookie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about lists like that. You know, I think you've got in the top 7, you got a pretty realistic viewpoint of who's who. You know, you got superstars top to bottom. I mean, you get below that, and it's just kind of, you know, throwing some crazy darts. I mean, Baker's definitely not an elite quarterback right now. We'll see though. I mean, the guy knows how to win football games. The guy competes. It's bounced around a little bit, obviously, but I don't even know, where is he where is Baker Mayfield? What team is he on?
Tampa.
Oh my God, Tampa, right? Yeah, they're going to be bad. They are going to be bad. Listen, Rachel, you pay the price for winning a Super Bowl sometimes. You do. You extend all your money. You get a lot of vets that leave. I mean, you just, you know, that's the cost. They're going to be bad. But they're in a bad division, though. So who knows? I mean, what's Carolina going to do? I mean,
Carolina made a lot of moves, though. I feel like they could be a
Carolina's
favorite.
What I'm talking about. Sorry. No, Carolina's in the NFC. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Atlanta. Yeah. What's Atlanta? What are the Saints this year? I mean, you know, it's not a great division. It's not a great division.
Are you saying Derek Carr is not going to lead the Saints to a Super Bowl?
Well, he could win that division. I mean, in that division, I mean, what are the Titans doing? What are they going to do this year? You know, who are they? So
did Derek Carr ever get picked up? Actually, he did.
Yeah, he's there. But who's their quarterback?
The Titans?
Yeah.
I definitely have it on this list. Oh, Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? And I bet you he's not their quarterback either. I bet you they do something else too. But
are you surprised at all that Russell Wilson comes in at 20, and should he be higher or lower?
No, that's just about right. That's a good spot. No, he's way overpaid for being the 20th ranked quarterback. I mean, he makes
that's where the main problem comes in.
I mean, that's the problem we have, Rachel. That's the problem we have. So no, that's for who he is and his ability and what the expectations are for the team this year. That's fair. That is a fair ranking.
This comment, Lamar overrated. Your thoughts?
Well, that's ridiculous. He's
I agree.
League MVP. He's a multi-time playoff quarterback. He is beloved by his teammates, and he's a high-value contract guy. It's silly. Lamar's definitely not overrated. Guys like Lamar and Justin Fields get this kind of ridiculous rap. They're both much better throwers of the football than you want to see, because all the highlights are them running around. But No, both those guys can really sling the rock, and I know from Lamar because I've talked to people who have played with him. They think nothing but great things about Lamar Jackson. On that list, so Kyler Murray wasn't even on that list because of his injury, right? So he wasn't even there on the list.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Okay,
Kyler
real quick,
Murray's
going back to the
gonna-
Lamar thing, though. I was watching Good Morning, and they were talking about how we're going to see a lot more of Lamar throwing the ball and a lot less of him running because of, obviously, injuries. How do you feel about that? Because I feel like you're losing a potential of Lamar that makes him so dangerous. Yes, he can absolutely sling the rock, like you said. But I feel like what makes Lamar so dangerous in those moments and in those big games is because he can do both, and you really don't know which one it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. Lamar will do whatever it takes. I mean, every quarterback, every coach, every team wants their quarterback to not take punishment, but you also need your quarterbacks to pick up first downs. It's the same old, same old. Can you convert third down? Well, sometimes you got to run for that. Can you score in the red zone? Well, sometimes you got to run for that. And that's kind of it, Rach. I mean, the vast majority of quarterbacks in the NFL, they can move the ball between the 20s. They can. What separates quarterbacks is third down, red zone, and behind in the game with less than 3 minutes to play, coming from behind. So coming from behind, red zone, third down. Other than that, the whole can he throw, can he not throw? I mean, we're not talking about like Tim Tebow stuff here, where a guy doesn't deserve to be there. I mean, he can clearly throw the football, as can Justin Fields. The question is, are you smart enough to be able to do what it takes when you need to do it? And I think Lamar Jackson is brilliant. So I think that's silly. I think he's absolutely deserving to be in the top 10, if not higher. And, the Ravens know him better than anybody, and look what they just did for him. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
True. What do you think we'll learn out of Broncos this week, if anything? Because medias have availability on Thursday. What a good day on Thursday.
Thursday's crazy. Thursday, we don't get to use our little Twitter during practice, but we know how to approach things with Sean Payton. So if there's something that we want to talk about, all we have to do is simply ask him, and we need to do a better job of that. These are new rules. Okay, it's definitely different, but it's on us to adjust, the Muggles to adjust, not the other way around. So I'm fine with it. What will we learn? We'll just sort of see how everybody's doing in terms of health and maybe a rhythm. There were some good things and some bad things about what we saw out of Russell Wilson. So you'd hope to see like some sort of better chemistry in terms of the rhythm of the offense.
Wait a second. I saw a picture of Russell Wilson at the podium last year and then this year. Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right?
The amount of weight he has lost is actually crazy.
Well, he's probably only lost, I'd say, 10 to 15 pounds, but that's a lot. And
that is a ton.
It's like redistributed. Like he's definitely leaner, and his face
is so slim.
Yeah. His face looks slimmer. He's a little bit more tapered, but he's always had kind of big arms and shoulders. Kind of hips, that sort of thing. All the things that like baseball players kind of look like. Baseball players are kind of square. They're not very lean. They're kind of just like brawny refrigerator boxes. Well, I mean, that's kind of how Russell Wilson looked last year. He looked like kind of a brawny refrigerator box. Like I said a million times, he was probably the fourth most fit guy at the campus middle school parking lot drop-off, but he wasn't an Avenger, I mean, and he kind of looks like one of the Avengers, but not one of the stronger Avengers. Probably like, that guy. What was he going to
Hawkeye.
Hockey. It's probably more like Hawkeye.
We still like Hawkeye a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you roll your eyes like, okay, I guess you're an Avenger. But I mean, what do you an arrow? I mean, that's it, huh? An arrow. You shoot and what you have a limited amount. How does he get more arrows? Like once he shoots the arrow, like where do the other arrows come from?
Okay, wait. So you watch Survivor with your wife. We recently have started watching Alone. I don't know how we came upon this, but we started watching it. And they're like on this grizzly mountain in the middle of Canada or whatever. Watching them do stuff is so insane, and spending 100 days by yourself alone is shocking to me. And all I can think about is this one guy is hunting with arrows and he shoots a deer, and it's like the greatest thing ever. And that's just what it made me think of.
Yeah, I mean, like, where do you get your next? So hold on. So the event. Let me go back here. So the Avengers are fighting aliens, right? And I got an arrow. Yeah, you're an alien. You came from out of this world, and I can fly around, which like every Avenger can fly, so that's not even a big deal. And I got an arrow, maybe like 7 of them. Like, what? I mean, how
do they come back like Thor's thing comes back? Doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's like the hammer, but that's got like sonic powers and stuff. Like he can disrupt the universe, and it always comes back to him. And he's the only one that can pick it up. So, I mean, granted, that's a lot of hand-to-hand combat, theoretically, right?
Okay.
So...
If Russell Wilson becomes comeback player of the year, like this comment says, Russ comeback player of the year, what Avenger does he become?
God, who is the best comeback Avenger? That's a good one. Aquaman? No. No, that's no good. That's not right. The best comeback Avenger. Golly. So it's an Avenger who was like terrible, was like down. Well, I mean, he'd be Captain America. Let's face it. If there's anybody who was going to be Captain America, it would be Russell Wilson. And Captain America did come back in like different generations. Like every time there was a war, well, there's Captain America, and he's been down on his luck. He loses his shield sometimes, So yes, if Russell Wilson were to come back, he'd be Captain America.
Tommy says Iron Man is the best comeback Avenger. So let's hope we're all talking about this at the end.
He was, yeah. I mean, Iron Man was like in a cave in like Iraq or something, and like built his entire suit out of like, I don't even know how he did it. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
I love that. I hope we are talking about that because I hope we're talking about a lot of Broncos wins, just like we're talking about a Nuggets win on Thursday night. Of course, all of our Nuggets coverage is going to continue. DMac is going to be headed down to Nuggets media availability here in just a little bit. Follow him on Twitter and then a story on denversports.com, DMac.
Yes, the show, and yeah, I'll try my best. Rachel,
there will be at least something, whether it's you or Jake Shapiro.
Rachel, what Avenger would you be?
Who is Scarlett Johansson?
I don't know.
I don't either. I've only watched like 2 Avengers movies in my life. So everybody tell me what Avenger I would be in the comments, and have a wonderful Tuesday. Again, hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. for another episode. Bye, everybody.